Chansong na wangin voin chanudar khata maybe somni pasaria kan nei don ani a voin nia kan speaker tur hi pu Mathew Antony ani a All India Professional Congress Maharashtra State President Changlai ani a politics experience nei thatak ani a in hei voina hian kan party ho tu ten ama hi an lo troi om boka an ma ni achak bera hian ps thanga Mpcc General Secretary AICC in charge thua tin kan hriat angin a dot chia hian Dr. Lalbal Soma nga ka Mpcc Treasurer thu boka tin alaya hian Mpcc President Pural Sota thu boka tikhan kan press conference Facebook kan live min lo hriat thiam kan ngai nga tin statement kha mizo tong te point kina kan siam le anga kan ron thon don cheu ni tikhan may I have the pleasure to invite Sri Mathew Antony to proceed with his press briefing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Honorable President, General Secretary of the Mpcc, Treasurer and the spokesperson, and respected friends of media. A very good afternoon to all of you. We will share the press note to all of you in detail. However, the Indian National Congress across India in 36 locations is conducting a press conference to bring an awareness to the people about the very corrupt government of India under the leadership of Narendra Modi. 9 years and 9 questions. We have 900 questions to ask, but we are capturing the major ones as now sal, now sawal. That is the point which you are getting across. So there are close to say around 9 topics on which we will be talking to you. Basically, one is on the economy, second is on the agricultural and farmers, third is corruption and cronyism, fourth is China and national security, fifth is social harmony, sixth is social justice, seventh is democracy and federalism including secularism, eighth is welfare schemes, and ninth is COVID-19 mismanagement. We know that this government of BJP and Narendra Modi has made lies and lies and lies and lies across the years with false promises. There were around 2 crores of jobs promised every year. And right now there are 9.75 lakhs of government employment yet to be filled. And that is on the employment part of it. I don't know how many of you are aware of the LPG charges. In 2014 it was 410 rupees. In 2023 it is 1103. People who manage houses with such kind of inflation and such kind of joblessness, how do someone manage their economy? How do someone manage their house budgets? You can tie up your belts and stay hungry, but who is questioning the government on these price rises? You all know about the cylinder strikes made by Madam Smriti Irani before 2014, and all the drama which she unfolded in Delhi about the price increase in the gas prices. Do we hear from her anymore? Do we hear from BJP on the petrol price increase? When we touched 71, when the global petroleum prices were so high, the entire Delhi was seized, saying that if we are voted to power, the petroleum prices will be coming down. What are the prices right now? 95 to 100 for petrol and 85 to 96 for the diesel. When you know that we are buying Russian oil, Government of India is buying Russian oil at a very cheap price, and why the people of India is being targeted again. Why are we being looted again? By the same people who cried for the people of India to come to power, saying that the petrol prices were not in their control. Same with the dollar. Look at the mustard oil, look at the atta, look at the milk prices. The milk prices were at 35 before 2014. And now it is 53. If you look at the packet milk, it is at 69 to 70 rupees. Who is questioning this government? If we don't ask these questions, not only Indian National Congress, we are bringing you the facts. We want the people to be aware about the facts and the prices by which their house management is going for a toss. That's exactly the point in which we want to bring on the economy. The second is about the demonetization. We were promised in 50 days time everything will be coming to normal, and it is to bring in the black money. How many of you have received black money back in India? Anyone, for that matter, anyone? And the corruption increased because in a bundle of 1,000 notes, 1,000 rupees notes, you could have only carried 1,00,000 of rupees. You made it easier to carry 2 lakhs by bringing out a 2,000 note. And now you are announcing that, just before the elections, you are announcing that 2,000 is no more in circulation. For a local person, individual, how will you find that when a bill is constantly getting changed, will you have the confidence to keep that bill with you? When somebody exchanges it with you, and when you go to the bank, the government says the bank will change, but the bank will ask you Aadhaar, the bank will ask you a lot of other documents. Where did you get this from? How many of you want to go through this pain? So these are blunders without application of thought from this government. That is basically, these people are doing on the economy. There is a whole lot of documents. I'm not getting into the entire details, but I'm just giving you the top points in which why we are making the people think about these government's atrocities. Tax terrorism. They say we will bring down income tax. They brought down the corporate income tax for the corporates. The income tax for the people have not been touched. Then you touch the GST. GST was an original idea of Congress, but was poorly implemented and without any application of thought, but with the purpose of greed. They implemented it with higher slabs like 25%, 28%. For 100 rupees product, if you have to pay 28 rupees as taxes, what is it? So it is like giving power to somebody who has got the power to loot. That is exactly what is happening with the GST implementation. And then GST implementation is also costing money for the poor MSME business owners, everyone for that matter. The economic policies. 6 airports were given to Adani in one single shot. And Bombay airport, which was run by another player, he was terrorized with ED and other enforcement agencies and forced to sell at a discount. Is this what you want in this country? Is this what we want our future generations to kind of see through it? Because when we sit here and talk to you, we have to build a country which the next generations also has to leave. If the government is running something like this, do you have the confidence to put in your money to any kind of an investment or to any kind of your own ventures? That is exactly what we are bringing to you. Inequality, hunger, everything is rising. I have visited many states. There are people who are struggling to meet 3 meals a day. In Meghalaya during the election times, we were told that 50 lakh kilo of ration rice was sold in black market in Assam. This is exactly what this government is doing. Do you want this government to be working like this? I have mentioned to you about the 9.79 lakhs of jobs to be kind of filled up by this government. And on most of this, the Prime Minister puts advertisement on G20 everywhere. Did the Prime Minister ever have the time to speak about unemployment in this country? To address about the issues in this country? He escapes. He doesn't give to the press, he doesn't speak to anyone else, and he just buys the media with advertisements and just tells what he wants to. So who is listening to the people of this country? If I am saying a lie, I just want to know from you all whether any one of you have the courage to write it right now because of the tortures faced by the media people when somebody writes about anything to the government, or do you see any of the public asking questions to the government? When Congress was there, we have seen Dr. Manmohan Singh being questioned left, right, up and down, and we took it in a very spotty manner. We took it as a responsibility to answer the people of this country who has elected us to power. Do you see any of the BJP ministers in the state or in the center giving answers to any questions or any problems of people? They just come and talk what they want. Have they ever talked on any of the issues faced by the people? Did you ever see the Prime Minister and the Home Minister speaking on the issues of Manipur? We have been maintaining our stand in the Northeast that the indigenous traditions and the origin of the people of the states have to be maintained, even though it is unique. The unity and diversity, the choice of this country has to be maintained by respecting the indigenous traditions of the tribes of the people. We don't want conflict. We are not saying one India and everybody has to follow the same one. India is a group of diverse kind of people from different origins. Did you see the Prime Minister touching it? If the Prime Minister of this country and none of the ministers are addressing it, how do you find the economy growing? How do you find the peace of the country growing? Without peace, will anyone invest on this country? Look at the selling of PSUs, all to the friends. Skilling India, the only place where this government spends money without any kind of a conscience is advertisements. Just advertisements. Nothing in real, nothing in practice. As I said, it's not a 9 question. It is 900 questions summarized to 9 questions to a large extent, because there will be more. Agriculture and farmers. You remember the Delhi strike of the farmers? One of the minister's son ran his jeep over the farmer or a group of farmers and killed a few. Nothing happened. 700 farmers died in the strike fighting for their rights. The government made a false commitment that they will withdraw the laws, but they have not made any amendments till date. How can you live with someone, or how can you allow someone who's lying to you constantly for the sake of them to rule you? Mizoram is going to see a new government in this year. We want the people of the state to think that how can you be giving the right to rule you to someone who keeps on lying day after day, things after things. I told about the GST. Agricultural equipment, it is 12%, tires and other tractor parts 18%, fertilizers 5%, pesticides 18%. How will an agriculturalist, a farmer, have such an income to pay out as taxes? The insurance scheme of the government, it's again, the insurance companies made money, the claim were denied completely. Subsidies have been completely taken away. If not for nominal sake of it, it's been kind of kept. Farmer suicides have been the highest in the country in the last 9 years. Who is addressing them? In states like Maharashtra, in states like Andhra, in states like Tamil Nadu, in other states where agriculture is a major income, farmers are committing suicide because they are debt laden. The debt of the farmers is more than 1.25 lakhs of crores. That's where we are. Corruption and cronyism. You look at everywhere. It's corruption. Why Adani was given a $1.5 billion loan by the State Bank of India when they had a lunch meeting in Australia, because the Australian banks were denying loans to Adani. Why LIC, where you all put the money, we all put the money for our savings and pensions, and SBI's money has been put into Adani. LIC was a premium company, now is sold at 30% less in the market after listing. For whose benefit? It is for the friends of the PM's benefit. Nobody is questioning. Because if you question, tomorrow morning you will have guests from Enforcement Directorate, CBI and other local agencies to kind of say hi, hello to you. So do you want it? You don't want it. So it's all for friends, free of cost, and then you can have a party office which is much more than a Marriott or a Hyatt or a Le Méridien with such kind of facilities. We still have the 24 Akbar Road office. It still have the same facilities because our concern is for the people of this country. We might have made mistakes, but we have not corrupted ourselves to this core by looting people. All the GST income you pay, all the subsidies which is withdrawn, all the petroleum profits which the government is making is going to whom? These friends. Now the biggest scam during the COVID was the PM case. It was in the name of the Prime Minister. 10,000 crores was taken away from the corporates, PSUs and everyone. Now when an RTI inquiry comes in, they submit it into the court that no, we don't fall under RTI because it is not a public trust. So if me and you does a PM care fund, what will be the section under which the police arrests us? Section 420, cheating. When the PM does PM case and says that it is not a public fund, but I raised it as a public one, and only 3,000 crores was spent. Where is the 7,000 crores? Nobody knows. Is it in that BJP's headquarters? We don't know about it, but we say that it's corruption. That's exactly the kind of corruption which these people are having. And then the best thing is, if you're a politician and then you have done some corruptions and BJP is in need of that politician in that state, you switch on the BJP washing machine, you come out clean. No ED cases, nothing. Everything is settled down. You become a minister also. You become a very prominent man. And then you don't speak about it. Are we all blind? Or how long we remain blind? How long we stay in fear that no, tomorrow somebody will come? If we don't raise our voice, we ourselves and our generations will be paying the price for this. We are in an elected autonomy right now, or an elected dictatorial way. Nobody complains, or the parliament is not being convened. The last session, during the last term of this government, only 331 days were the functioning of the entire parliament. This time it will be even lesser because every session is being watched out. And none of the ministers are even interested in coming to the parliament or answering or taking on questions. This government doesn't want to answer questions. Electoral bonds, 90,000 crores is there in the total electoral bonds, and almost 96% is with BJP. Every time it is there with BJP, and then nobody knows the details, they get all the money. China and national security, everybody has listened to the Galvan story from Satyapal Malik. RDX loaded trucks were simply plied on the roads like this. And when we got to know about it, the national security advisor and the Prime Minister, both consciously being aware of the facts, told the then governor not to mention anything about this subject because it will be considered as government failure, And then they celebrated the Pulwama war to come back to the elections. Anyone with some conscience, when one of your fellow brethren had died due to your mistake, will have the courage and the audacity to sell that to come to government? We have people like that. It is not, that we are doing this to come to power. It's our conscience which is questioning the conscience of the people, the corrupt conscience of the people. We don't have a national security strategy. We have General Huda, who made a national security strategy, coming out in public and saying that we don't have a national security strategy. We see people invading our country and asking us, and our Prime Minister doesn't have the guts to speak anything about them. You speak about 56-inch chest in this country, but you don't have the courage nor the morality to speak to a country or its people that you are encroaching our people illegally and you should go back. Not a single word of utterance from the Prime Minister. Social justice, we all have seen the issues of social justice in all the states. The SC, ST, OBCs are being ignored by this government. When you say ST, the Northeast tribes becomes a part of it. You see the conflict in Manipur. Does the Prime Minister, does the Home Minister have the time to come and stay in Manipur? Have you ever seen our Prime Minister making a call for peace as a statesman when things goes wrong in this country? Even for once, at least for the sake of it, he never mentions it. Why? Because we thought. Then we understood that he is a man who has come up in the ranks through riots from the time of him being the CM of a state. So he loves riots. Else why is he not speaking? Why is he not arresting the violence in a state when, as a Prime Minister and the Home Minister, they have time for 7 days to campaign in Karnataka for the state elections, but they don't have a single day or an hour to come to Manipur and request and call for peace when things are out of control? Isn't that a big issue of lack of seriousness for social justice in this country? We have seen religious polarization in this country in the last 9 years. We have seen conflicts otherwise. But a large part of the conflicts which is coming on this country right now is on religious conflicts. 96% of this government lying, or they feel that by publicizing everything, people will not go for the questions. How long you can keep fooling the people? And how long you can oppress the people? We have seen in the history that Hitler, Mussolini, everybody got their piece of their fate when they kept on oppressing the people. India is being kept as an elected autonomy or a dictatorial country for their benefit. Minority education. I belong to a minority community. I'm a Christian. Similarly, the state of Mizoram, a large population is of minority. The CAA wanted to differentiate people on religion. Then the benefits to the minorities were withdrawn everywhere. So what we have to do is, I need to ask a question to all the people in the minority, including Christians, Muslims, Jains, Parsis, everybody for that matter. Are we second to anyone in this country? We are not. We are equal to everyone in this country. And why are we being plotted by this government? We are not begging for mercy. We are not begging for any kind of benefits from this country, because we are as equal as anyone in this country. It is a right given to us by our constitution as a member of minority that we should be treated as equals. Just because someone else has got larger in size, the secular constitution of this country has given us the privilege and the right to be treated as equals, and none of our privileges should be withdrawn, nor we should be treated less by this government. And this government is doing exactly that. We are questioning that. Democracy and federalism, that's where the secularism is kind of coming to play. And then in many places, from Goa to Karnataka to Maharashtra to any place, when they don't win elections, BJP will buy them MLAs, corrupt them. So anybody who's familiar with law, the one who takes the corrupt money and the one who induces and infuses the corruption, both are wrong. Aren't they doing the wrong thing? Don't they have the courage to fight for the people's mandate and to form the government rather than buying the mandate by corrupting the people? And for that they use the investigative agencies. 96%, above 90% of all the cases between CBI and Enforcement Directorate is by charging politicians. So that makes the intent very clear. And the state governments are weakened. Everything wants to be controlled from the center. The tax were the revenue taxes were being collected by the state revenue ministry. The central government attempted to withdraw it. The GST collection, they made the state governments to beg for mercy to get the fund collected as SGST. Why? That's not the way to behave. That's the way of a fascist federalist government to take control over the state. India was never designed to that one. India was designed to have a system where both it functioned democratically and in a way that the state and the center works in unison, in agreement as well as in disagreement. That's what BJP is trying to kind of withdraw on that one. Welfare schemes, one after the other, they are touching it. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme, the Prime Minister has got some sort of an aversion to it. But during the COVID times, they were the ones who were of so much of help for the government. But then the allocation of that has come down. The people in the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme gets only say around 300 days of employment, which doesn't meet them with the minimum requirement for a livelihood. Now it's coming down again. The Ujjula Scheme, again I told you about the LPG prices. The benefits have been taken out of it. Nutrition schemes for the children, that's also neglected. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao has become BJP se Beti Bachao Abhi. That has become the slogan of the day. I don't want to get into the details of it, because if I start that, the entire day will not suffice me to complete the number of incidents done by BJP on that one. The health schemes, if you look into the northeast especially, I was in Meghalaya, now I'm here, I'm kind of getting the feedback. The health schemes are not to the benefit of the people. They are not getting benefited. The malnutrition, the mother's health, everything is kind of taken for granted. None of them are being taken seriously of that one. The pensions, old pension schemes are withdrawn from everywhere. Pensions for widows, pensions for single mothers, pensions for people with disabilities, for the army men, nothing is being taken seriously. This government is averse. They only want rich to be richer, poor to be poorer. That is the way in which this government is working. COVID-19, 40 lakhs people died in India, and the government of India, for our shame, did thali hitting and a lot of unscientific things to the core. Again, the Prime Minister made a commitment of some specific days and India will be out of COVID. And after the COVID vaccination, to get the credit, they took the second wave in a very light-hearted manner. where the maximum number of deaths happened. The migration with an unplanned lockdown killed so many people, killed employment, killed MSMEs. Why don't you think? If you can take so much of time to stitch a suit, to wear a turban, to wear all fancy dress competition dresses, why can't you take some time to think about how people will have consequences of every decision? This is where we have a concern. This is where we are concerned about this government. And if we don't ask this, who will ask them? People say Congress is losing elections and we are not kind of showing up. We are talking for the people day after day, day and night we are talking for people. But then there is a propaganda which is propagated that there is no opposition. Who is saying if we at all we have researched so much and if we are putting up this information to you, who said we are not voicing this concern? Ask the question to the Prime Minister and the Government of India, why you are not answering questions in the Parliament? Why you are not convening Parliament? Why you are not trying to kind of get the consensus building in the Parliament to have things discussed in the Parliament? You have all the time and money to inaugurate a Parliament. You don't have the time to come to attend the Manipur issue. So you don't care about the people's death in Manipur because of clashes which they could have settled in through dialogue. There is no dialogue, there is no conversation. This government will not answer. Hindenburg, the Adani issue, the Prime Minister has not spoken. The connection between Adani and the Prime Minister and the BJP government is very clear. Now the question to Adani is also, when they say to be clear, why haven't they moved a legal file against Hindenburg till this date if they were so right? They are looting the people of India's money. That's exactly what we have to say to you, and that's why we have held the press conference. We will share all these details to you in this same PDF format in which we held the discussions. But what we request to you is you can ask questions if at all you have, and in the cover page of this, it's all the people who walked with Sri Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra and shared their concerns. It is not a fakery like how the government of India is doing. So it contains facts, it contains figures, it contains people's images who are real people, who are not fake, who can be called, touched and asked questions. That's what we are here for. The message which we want to convey is that the government of India is blatantly lying to the people of India on facts, figures and everything. And they are utterly failing to deliver any promises which they have promised till date in the last 9 years. Do you want a government who is lying to you, or do you want a government who continuously keep working for you? Name one institution which this government of India has built. When compared to the aims, when compared to the Northeast Ministry, Northeast things which the Congress government has built over the last 70 years. We have an IAM in the Northeast. We have a design institute in the Northeast. We have a medical institute in the Northeast. And what has NEDA done? And what is Mizoram government with NEDA trying to do? What is the corruption in Mizoram? They are also a party to that one. So either we can be simple listeners and say that it is not our problem till the time the problems hits us directly, our family members, our next generation, or the investigative agencies comes near to us. Then it becomes everyone's problem. So we are speaking on behalf of each and every citizen of this country. And that's what we are. Now Sawal, and we pose this question to the government of India. Do you have factually verified answers to all the questions which we have raised to you on your misgovernance to this country for the last 9 years? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mathew. Before we invite questions from the media, let us take this photograph.
Yeah, a picture, which we can keep, everyone can keep this, and, we can take a picture. Yeah, sorry. Thanks. You have it here. You have it here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now the floor is open for questions from the media. Any question? Oh, Dấu Trần Yên. Cần giết đồn là cần phải đồn thôi.
Yeah. Any questions to me or them? You can, if at all you have. Yeah.
Leader is very important. You have just mentioned Rahul Gandhi, but you have ICC president. You don't mention him. Who is the real leader of ICC?
Okay. I think it is a known truth, that Sri Mallikarjun Kharge was elected as the AICC president, and in our constitution, Rahul Gandhi is a strategy committee member, a former CWC committee there, and he is a former Congress president. Thereby, he is in the top decision-making body, as well as there is Sri K.C. Venugopal, Sri Mukul Vasnik, then the general secretaries are there. Srimati Sonia Gandhi, the former president, the general secretary is, Priyanka Gandhi is there. So it is there. So if at all you ask it in a way that the question is indirectly on about is Rahul Gandhi the decision maker? Sri Rahul Gandhi, as a former Congress president, is very much eligible as any other senior Congress leader to be a part of the top decision making body. And for us, it is Sri Mallikarjun Kharge who is the Congress president. We have no doubt in the clarity on that one.
Yeah, the Lok Sabha election is very near now. Will be our Prime Minister here?
If at all, in the last few decades, if you have followed the Congress tradition, we have never projected anyone. It is a speculation of the people, but we have never projected anyone as a Prime Minister candidate. There is a procedure. You have seen it in the recent Karnataka elections also. People projected Siddaramaiah as a CM, D.K. Shivakumar as a CM. The party never maintained any stand on anyone. The party made a decision after having a CLP meeting, then individually consulting the elected MLAs, then the High Command consulting with the nominated or the front runners, whom the CLP has suggested, and then made a decision. That's how the decision making process has always been, and it is always better to have such a process. I'll tell you why. Suppose if we all are sitting as a party member, and if at all we impose one's leadership, there will always be an opposition. Suppose we discuss it, and you acknowledge it, that no, there are stakeholders, and there are meritorious people who wants to be somebody, and then you make a decision that no, somebody will be the leader. That will have more agreement rather than imposing like BJP that no, he's going to be the leader, he's our leader, he's our everything. Like in Karnataka, they said that if you don't elect a BJP government, the Prime Minister's blessing will not be there. Who's Prime Minister? He's God. He's an elected representative of the people, and that's how we believe in.
But don't you want to want a proper, PM, age? Don't you think that's a better option? Like,
See,
for example,
yeah.
generation, I come from a younger, my generation and the younger ones, I think they're pretty much fed up with the Gandhi family. It's a known fact, right? And then you have a party president, but at the same time, people are perceiving that the Gandhi family is calling the shots. How are you going to, convince the voters that this is not the way?
Madam, see, this is a question which we get often. Many a times, sometimes, we don't answer it. Sometimes certain people don't answer it. Sometimes certain people answer it. Now, this hatred towards the Gandhi family is also a propaganda. I'll now, you put the question. So, if you have believed it for reasons, then somebody is propagating this. At the same time, now let me put some facts to it. Congress party got tremendous amount of contribution from the Gandhi family. Take it from Jawaharlal Nehru's father onwards. They contributed their family's wealth to the party. They contributed their life to the party. We have got two martyrs from the family who gave up their life for the party. You have got a widow who kind of gave her entire life to the party with two small children. And when they came up, it is like this, that they also wanted to contribute to the party, and they have not. Now I have submitted to you with proofs about the corruption done by a so-called Prime Minister who is saying that who's bold and who is who doesn't have the courage to address the people on issues, who only wants to come out to protect his image against the Gandhis who has come out and stood in the public. Indira Gandhi was humiliated in the parliament for her decisions. Indira Gandhi was humiliated by the people with a defeat in elections. Yet she faced the people and came back. Rahul Gandhi was insulted every day by the paper and everybody with a brand invested by the opposition parties with tons of money to make him look like somebody else. Yet he walked 3,750 kilometers across India to prove his commitment and his ability and his willingness to understand the people of this country. So, who is selling propaganda and who are real people who are there in the ground, who can still be accessible, who can still be... You asked this question about Gandhis. Do you have the courage to ask this question about Narendra Modi, that are you corrupt like this? Do you have? Then I will have, say that, that no, what you're saying is right.
Yeah, what you're saying is true, like the Gandhi family, they have contributed a lot. But I think, you must also come to the realization that a certain, generation is not fit.
I'm saying, that no, I'm just asking you one simple question. I'm not angry. I've just emphasized my tone. I am saying, that I've put a corruption on your bold Prime Minister. Do you have the courage to go out in the public see, I'm answering you on a criticism against my leaders. And I am justifying that my leaders are not what you're saying. But do you have the courage to go into a BJP press conference and stating that your Prime Minister, who is bold, is not answering my questions on the problems? Your neighbor state, Manipur, just ask that question. Are you sure that you will be able to come out safe from that BJP press conference with the BJP people sitting around? But you can criticize Gandhis and you can walk safely with our commitment from this office. That is the learning which we have got from our leaders in the party, which includes the Gandhis.
Can I intervene?
Yeah.
Even BJP minister, some other BJP leaders was always coming at the Minister of Finance. We asked what we want. We never afraid of asking something about BJP like that.
Is it the question is...
You can answer in local language also, I have no problem. Yeah.
He's from the English news.
Yeah.
I want you to make a poll in Mizoram among the youth. Who do you want as Prime Minister, Rahul Gandhi or Modi? I'm just saying because since you mentioned about Rahul Gandhi very specifically, make a poll.
This is yours.
I know
Yes.
who's going to win hands down.
Yeah.
Rahul Gandhi is going to win hands down. So when you say that we are tired of Rahul Gandhi, you don't represent the youth of Mizoram. Because I'm very active on social media, and each and every YouTube vloggers put out, I'm always very careful to look at the comments and what our youth want. So Pan India, Central India, the choice is very clear in Mizoram. But
in Mizoram,
yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
Pan India, across India.
But even Pan India, things are changing, especially after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. I think you followed it a lot. If you follow and you look at the comments on social media, I think we are starting to have quite a clear leader. But many of the polls which I feel, the BJP puts out, these are manipulated polls.
Good, excellent.
It's quite easy to manipulate polls. So, especially when you talk about the youth of Mizoram and the people of Mizoram, I'm very sure there's a hands down winner. When
Yes,
yeah.
true, but
Let me also put a thought across to you that I just want you all to think, because journalists plays an important role in spreading the right news also, not the propaganda but the right news also. I'm just asking your minds to explore this thought that you can ask free questions to a Congress body at any point of time. You can criticize us, any one of us here, and you can walk safely out here. How is it, do you feel that sense of safety and security when you do it with the BJP? Okay, and I, from within the party, any one of us or a worker has got an access to any of our leaders. It will take time. I'm not saying that it will just happen over a phone call, because if at all it's like that, crores of people are there. It will take time, but we still have access, and there are people who goes and tells the leaders that what you're doing is wrong, and that person is not punished. Do you think that do you have that kind of a access to the Prime Minister. You see him waiting off people for his photographs.
Yeah, but one thing that Central and Mizoram,
Yeah, thank you.
Mizoram may not be saying. As I say that Central Minister and some people always come and have a press conference. We ask why. So they don't have any action. What I mean is that they don't harass us.
So tell that minister whether he can ask the same thing to his Prime Minister.
So, what my last one question is, will Congress form a government even after this becoming election with their agents?
After the Karnataka elections, you can see how the opposition parties are rallying with Congress. And 2024 May is not too far. We want to come to court for the people of India, and we have shown and demonstrated we have shown and demonstrated that willingness and aggressiveness in Karnataka. That's a beginning. At the same time, we will be receptive to the people, their feedback, and take immediate corrective actions rather than sitting on them or ignoring them by doing that one. So that's the way we are looking at it right now. You will see a few more state elections: Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Mizoram. We will see before 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and you will see the reflection of the results in the state also.
Henry, he is from PTI.
Okay. Just a second.
One question. You talk about religious polarization.
Yes.
Over the last 9 years in the BJP government. So, and also talks about politics of hatred. Do you believe this politics of hatred and polarization of religious polarization is used by the BJP for its advantage, electoral advantage? Do you believe that? That is one question, and another question is you raised about 9 questions, and also say that Modi is silent. Example, he did not address the problems of minorities, like scheduled tribes, say Dalit or women, etc. The BJP is silent on the atrocity to these minority people, low class people. So do you believe that Modi should apologize to the people for remaining silent on this issue?
Okay. On your first question, the entire drive of BJP after 24 elections is on the fascist Hindutva, not Hinduism. In Hinduism, those who practice, we all have friends in Hindu believers, and Hinduism is one of the world's largest broad religion. Okay, they have accepted, respected every arm of religious thoughts. From there, suddenly a group of people with RSS ideology, RSS backed ideology and polarization view coming and spreading fascist Hindutva, where when I am saying fascist Hindutva is, they say that no, we are the largest, so it is our country and nobody else. It's no one else's country, which is not acceptable. As I said, the minorities, are we second to any? I am born in India as an Indian from the very first breath of mine. So has my father, so has my grandfather, so has every minority's family. Are we second to any? Are we not? Do we not belong to this country? Do we need to be treated separately? I don't agree with it. None of the minorities agree with it. So that is against the secular principle, secularism of the constitution, that we all are square boxes of equal length and breadth and thickness, irrespective of the number of people inside it. And that's what exactly Congress promulgates. See, Congress was never too good in marketing like BJP. Dr. Manmohan Singh softly worked for this country without marketing any bit of it. But he made brilliant policies. You look at the telecommunication revolution. Who brought it? It is the Congress. You look at all the government institutes. It is Congress who brought it. You look at the BFSI, banking financial sector changes. Who brought it? It is the Congress who brought it. You look at the Aadhaar's framework. Nandan Nilekani worked with which government first? It was the Congress government. GST. Who worked with it? Who stopped all these things in the parliament? It is a BJP who stopped all these things in the parliament. And then for the SC, STs and all other atrocities and killing and the lot of atrocities which has happened, failures which has happened in this country, if the Prime Minister is honest and if the Prime Minister has consciously committed to the constitution of this country while swearing into his office, he is equally liable to take the credits as well as the faults, the failures, and to apologize to the people of India by taking ownership for the failures. If he wants to take the credit of his successes, then he has to take the ownership of the failures too and apologize to the people of India, because he or she is not a king. The Prime Minister is an elected servant of the people of this country. Yes.
So regarding Manipur issue, see, the minority tribal are at the receiving end right now. So, but we have never heard the Prime Minister speaking about, talking about restoration of peace in Manipur. So the silence, Modi's silence, let's say, is it? Do you believe that this due to his ignorance, negligence to the tribal people? Why doesn't Modi speaks about a restoration of peace in Manipur? Well, Manipur is boiling now, burning now.
The double engine failure, the Bilkis Banu people acquitted by the state, and the recent acquisition also, released from jails in Gujarat. Sanjeev Bhatt suffering in the IPS, suffering in the jail of Gujarat, shows the history of a leader who has come through the riots. Okay, so in such a case, forget Manipur. Manipur is a very, very serious issue. There are many places where the Prime Minister could have, as a statesman, uttered the word peace. Let us have peace, so that we build consensus. I don't think it's ignorance, because if he can speak about 15 other things in the world, if we can speak about the Ukraine-Russia war, how can he be unaware of Manipur? That's a studied ignorance, known ignorance, conscious ignorance, because his experience as a leader has come out of his growth through riots. That's where it is. We are concerned, seriously concerned about the people of Manipur. That's where we are.
So now, because we're in the issue of Manipur, we're talking on the topic of Manipur. What I would like to highlight here is that like the other day, the World Meitei Council had a meeting, and then all those accusations were coming out, and then from the Meitei side also, the tribals have been accused that they are illegal migrants from Myanmar. Okay, recently since military coup happened in 2021, there have been lots of refugees coming from Myanmar to Manipur as well as Mizoram also. So, but see, like if we're going to trace our ancestry, yes, we do have, that Chin state, we do come from that side. But like since independence, we have been, the line has been drawn. And Tripura, I think, is also having the same issue with Bengalis from Bangladesh. So they are also, having that kind of confusion. So like, don't you think as opposition party, like there should be a clear cut, a line drawn where this much of this migration happening since this year are immigrants, illegal immigrants, and this much are, Indian citizens. Because right now they are using our ethnicity with and our, history as a weapon against the Meiteis are using it against like a main weapon against the tribals now.
See, the issue of Manipur, as well as the entire northeast states to a large extent, the issue of migrants is not which has started today. The tribes, the ethnic tribes of the northeast has come to these places from various parts, Southeast Asia. It's there from the 18s, not much before that one. So you can't suddenly start something like that and classify and qualify somebody as something. That's against our constitution. We have made special privileges in the constitution for the Northeast. There are amendments made on the provisions. In different states there are provisions made. When the land of Misos were formed from Assam, there were kind of amendments made into that one. Now there are different solutions which are spoken about. There are some ideas which has come about an separate administrator rule for the scheduled tribes as something which is catching up the attention of a lot of opposition parties. But then the onus is up to the government of India as well as the state government to call for a consensus meeting and to discuss in an all-party level with such seriousness to bring solution to the problem. Now the polarization is very well BJP's agenda. It is NEDA's agenda that to polarize people and to differentiate people and to create a majority within the community which is there and to kind of attack the others. So that is what is happening there. So we are very much concerned there, and there is no official stand at this point of time, but largely what is being listened upon, the social listening is from the fact that the scheduled tribe needs a separate administration rule which can largely resolve this problem, is what we have heard about, is what the president also shared his thoughts about that one during that time. Yeah, you want to say something? Yeah.
As a Congress leader, what would be your suggestion to resolve the Manipur issue right now?
I can only give a personal view right now.
All right.
Because I cannot give an official view at this point of time, because we have not made an official view on the subject, because there are various opinions coming out. But the personal view, the most prominent personal view which is coming up is from the people of Manipur, is that there should be an administration or separate administrator rule for the ST there. But that's my personal view. There is no Congress official view on that one. That's where we are. Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thanks a lot for coming and taking your time. Please give good coverage, and ask questions to the people of Manipur. Mizoram, sorry. Yeah, we were talking about Manipur, so